Big game this weekend. If we can just start with the team news, if that's okay.
Yeah. So far, we have no more injuries from the last game. Still everybody. A few players are coming back. In the first time since a long time, we had Michael Buffini back in training, but no, too early for playing a game on the weekend. So we have still with Will Smallborn and already 2 players out. And the rest is training with us in the moment.
Cool. And what do you make of what Brendan Rodgers has done with this Leicester side?
I know that they are on a successful run. To be part of the Champions League spots is showing the amazing work they do since a few years, I think, and especially he turned the squad in a really top squad. And we faced them one time this season. I think we lost that 2-0, but didn't play a very good game there. And I expect a game for us, a very tough one, sure. But the semi-final of the Cup has its own rules, I think. And for us, it's not important on what position we are on the table and in what position they are. We had all to go through our rounds, and then we are facing each other for going to a big final for everybody, I think.
You've had a bit of a kind of roller coaster season, I suppose. What would it mean if you won this weekend to you and to the players?
A lot, definitely. To everybody in this club. We very early started speaking about how important the club is for us. I think for smaller clubs like we are, it's always good to have this target in your mind. And if you are in a safe position in the league, then you can focus a little bit more on the cup. And this is what we did this season. I always spoke about that it cost us a few more injuries and that maybe cost us a few more points in the league. But in the end, we have now still a big target to go for. And this is in April of a season, always nice to have.
And you've got spectators, not fans, but do you think having spectators there will make a difference?
I think we have also a few fans. I'm sure that a few fans will make it there. And it's a good thing, definitely. It's important that a few people are coming back in the stadium. It is very good for the atmosphere. It's a completely different situation then. And for the players, definitely much nicer.
Thanks. I think I'm up with my quota, so I'll let someone else have a go. But thanks so much. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Okay, Adam Blackwell.
Ralph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh, you're on fire, huh?
Still no video. Ralph, what would it mean to you personally, as an Austrian football manager, as an overseas manager, if you could get to the FA Cup final and actually lead a side out in a final? What would that mean if you can get through Sunday?
I think it would not mean much different to also an English manager, I think, because the tradition of this competition is something well known in England, but also known in Europe. It's for me, or not only for me, I think it's definitely the most traditional and well-known cup competition around the world. And I remember that one of the first football games I have seen was the FA Cup final. It was always a big moment for me to watch these games. The atmosphere in the Wembley Stadium was amazing. I always remember the unbelievable, beautiful pitch you have seen there. It was something special for me to see. And also the big goals. I remember a few interesting games. And yes, when I was a kid, it was maybe one of the first games I've seen.
I think the one question I can't answer, and I don't know if you can, is which Southampton are going to turn up? Because the team, when you are at your best, can play against anybody, but better than anybody, when it doesn't quite go right, it can go very wrong. So how confident are you that your players can get it right? You can't dictate the result, but the performance maybe yes.
Yeah, I hope we see the cup team. This is a team that hasn't conceded one goal so far in the cup competition. So this is, I think, the basic, the fundament of being successful and having a chance to come to the next round. A very, very good, 100% better defending team like we had on last weekend.
Yeah. and Leicester City. When you look at them, not just as a club, but as a team, why do you think they've been so successful and stayed up there around the top six? And are they a club you want to emulate, that aren't a traditional top six club that can punch above their weight every season?
Yeah, but it's a little bit tough to compare us to them in a moment, because I think especially after winning the Premier League, I think this gives you as a club a massive boost also financially for the future. Being part of the Champions League for a few times gives you more options for selecting in the future better players for your team. And when you see this team now, I don't see a lot of weaknesses anymore in this team. Every position is covered with high quality players and with experienced players, but also with young, very, very good players. So this is the chance they took with both hands, and now they are on a different level that we are. And to come there, it is a long way to go, but it's a very good role model, I think, for all of these clubs. They are below the top six, that this is always possible to make such a development, and definitely something we can look at.
Ralph, good luck on Sunday afternoon.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Jim Van White.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
See if I can get my video on fire. There we go. See my reflecting off my bald head. Didn't need to worry about the hairdressers opening again.
Yeah. By the way, if you have somebody out there who has an appointment for me, please call me.
I'll come and do it.
Great. I think in May, so.
Yeah. Grade 2 all over I can do.
The level you have to jump over after doing it myself is not a very high one. Huh? So please call me.
Ralph, you talked could you just expand a little bit more on the on your FA Cup memories and sort of seeing the match for the first time? I remember we talked to Arsene Wenger about this, and he said it was sort of one of those moments that encapsulated his love for the game, watching on an old black and white TV. Was there the same sort of interest in Austria when you were growing up of this special day in England?
It was not black and white TV, I think it was color, but I remember a very early game, and I think Liverpool has won with a goal 1-0, I think. Hopefully I don't tell anything wrong, but I think it was a very interesting game, and the atmosphere was amazing, and we were watching at home. But yes, I mean, this FA Cup is a very traditional competition, and this is the reason why everybody in this country loves it so much, I think, and sometimes maybe more than a few managers in the moment, because the Premier League has a very high level in our daily work, and we are always getting called about how much we have won in the Premier League, how many points we have, and so the FA Cup is then a little bit in behind. But I think the fact that you have 3 or 4 weekends where you play this cup, this is, I think, something unique in all the cup competitions around Europe, that you play the cup on the weekend. So this shows how important this cup is for the people here in this country, and should also be for us.
For you then, is it a case of if you don't make the FA Cup final, it hasn't been a successful campaign?
No, I mean, we had some very good moments this season. We had been very high up in the table for a short term, but then we had big problems with injuries. Maybe also because we were focusing a little bit on the cup also, and always selected the strongest side for the cup games, and especially in January, February, that cost us a few injuries. But in the end, yes, it was not much more possible with all the injuries and with all the problems we had during the season. But the cup final definitely can turn things 100% around, and 180 degrees around if you want. And then it would be a super successful season, definitely.
How important is it the players have the right mindset? Because I'm guessing that there won't be too many that have experienced the Wembley and the occasion and everything that goes with it.
I don't think that is a problem of having not the right mindset. I think when we are hungry and when we know what we have to hunt for, then we are strong. And this is what I expect from my team on the weekend. The phase we have shown so far in the FA Cup was a very good one. it was not an easy way to go there. We eliminated the cup holders, and then away against Wolves. Okay, against Bournemouth, maybe it was not the most difficult game, but also you have to win it there, and finally to make it the semi-final. And when you see what teams are there around, Chelsea, Man City, and Leicester, and it's for us just now a big success.
I'm back from San Francisco now, so my holidays were all good.
And here's a haircut,
yeah. And a haircut, yeah. I can let you know my barber. I'll pass on their number.
Okay, do it.
Starting with you, you've obviously managed in the Champions League, so the FA Cup in comparison, as you say, is perhaps more of a traditional competition. But in the build-up to these big kind of games, do you change anything you do? Are you a bit more restless at home? Do you go on for longer walks to kind of get your head around it? Or do you try and keep things as normal as possible for you, your family, and the players?
It's not much different. I think it's preparing for a strong opponent. It always takes a little bit more time to find the right game plan, the right match plan, and then the preparing. If you have a little bit of time to do it, I think it's helpful. We had a good week so far, and then when you go into the game, it's always the same. Finally, the only difference is that you have maybe an overtime and maybe a penalty shooting. So this is what you have to take care of. You have 5 subs. So a few other things what we can use for our thoughts we have on the game plan, and then go for it.
And in your team, you've got a lot of inexperienced players that wouldn't have played at Wembley before or played in games of this magnitude. But one player who has been there and won the competition is Theo Walcott. How useful is a player like him behind the scenes in the dressing room going into this game as that kind of calming influence? You know, players can look at him and think, well, he's been there and done it. Let's ask him some questions.
Yeah, I think experience is never bad when you use it in the right way. I think we have a few other experienced players, a good mixture. You need also the young and hungry ones who are going for winning something big. And on this day, you are not allowed to have a lot of weaknesses in your team, because otherwise you are the second winner, and then you have no chance to go through the next round. As I said, in the cup, we showed a very good face so far, and this is what we have to do again. And then in one game, everything is possible.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike Walters. Mike, when you're ready.
Well, good afternoon. When Southampton won the FA Cup in 1976, when you would have been about 8 or 9 years old, I think, the players took the trophy on a night out at a casino and came out into the casino at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and Peter Osgood placed the trophy on the shelf of a burger van and asked the burger van attendant to fill it up with tea, and the players drank tea from the FA Cup trophy at 3 o'clock in the morning, apparently. What would, if you get your hands on the trophy, what would you like to drink out of the FA Cup trophy?
At 3 o'clock in the morning, a tea is not such a bad idea, to be honest. So it's more to worry about how we can get the hands on it than what you have to fill in. I'm sure we find something for it.
Just to clarify, when you say you have memories of watching early FA Cup finals in Austria as a boy, do you remember Saints against Man United in 1976, or was that just before you would have seen it?
It was a little bit too early, I think. At that time, I think it was not possible for me to. I wasn't that interested. I think maybe a little bit later. So, no, as I said, there were not so many live games around at that time. So, the FA Cup final was one of it, and that was the reason why you could also watch it in free TV in Austria. So, this was the reason why Saturday afternoon. I think it was always 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So it was always the moment where we were sitting at home and watching it.
Just another quick one, if I may. If you were to reach the FA Cup final and hopefully win it, would it be your biggest single achievement in football of any kind?
I haven't won so many trophies so far in my entire managing career. I had 2 promoting things. One time we won the title of the second league, if you want, in Germany. Yes, that's it so far. That does not mean that I was not happy with all the success I had so far with my managing, but especially in the cups, my stats are horrible so far. And I always said, maybe there's one time in the year coming where everything comes together, because I lost so often in penalty shooting or in horrible games where we were 2 up and then lost it. And so my history in the cup was a horrible one, really. Completely opposite to my league stats normally. But yeah, as I said, maybe there's one time the moment coming where everything turns around and turns in a good way.
Great. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom Crocker.
Afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
You mentioned that you don't remember that cup final, but it's sort of close to 45 years ago now. But I mean, have you ever spoken to anyone about that day who was there? Because I mean, it's such a big day in the club's history. It's the only time they've ever won it.
I don't have to speak about that with somebody because I know everything now. As soon as I was coming, I heard everything about it. Here, you see the pictures all around here. You see the pictures here on the way to the dressing room where the Queen gives us the trophy. So you know everything about it so far. And I have seen the pictures when they were celebrating in the city. And yes, it would be a big success for us, definitely. Also coming to the final at first, and this is the goal for the weekend.
And a big question now ahead of Sunday. I mean, you normally wear a tracksuit for matches. Is it traditional to wear a bit of a suit and tie for games at Wembley? Have you planned your outfit yet for this weekend?
To be honest, I had not much energy left so far to think about what I dress. And normally this is the reason why I always dress in tracksuit, because I don't have to use energy of thinking what I should dress. But it is possible that when we go to the final that I have more time to think about it and then maybe change it. I don't know. But at first, let us do the game here on the weekend in a normal way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ralph. All the best for you Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom Leach.
Hi, Ralph. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Firstly, good luck for Sunday. Can I just check something first? You've won a few Austrian Cups, haven't you, as a player?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure everything on the internet is correct.
Yeah.
So you've been here and done that then. You've been in a few big semi-finals in your playing career and you've passed them. What advice have you given to your players about playing in semi-finals, and what will be the last thing you say to them as well when they head out onto the pitch on Sunday?
I don't know yet what is the last thing what I tell them before they go on the pitch. We were working very often with some videos, motivational videos, and I think, yeah, when I won the cup, it is very long ago. I don't know what I have. I cannot recognize or remember what I have done or what I've seen before, what the manager told me to do. What you know that there are always tough games, and especially both teams are fighting for everything, and there can only be one winner. And even if you go to the extra time or then in penalty shooting, you must be always driven of only the one target to come in the final. And this is the mentality we need. This is the mentality from the players. That is helping you to compete against a strong side. Take this one game as a big chance to achieve something very big, and this is for us a chance to write history in this club, and this is never coming so often, I think.
You said it yourself I think you said it after the game on Monday that things need to improve to get a result at Wembley, especially defensively. This defensive run that we're on at the minute over the last few months has been poor, as you know, but when you get to the end of the season and you look back over this kind of 4-month period, what would you put it down to as to why leaking goals seem to be such a big problem for Southampton?
The other interesting thing is that in 2020, I think it was completely opposite, especially in the first half of the season. Also after the lockdown, we conceded 8 goals in 9 games or something like that. And when you have such a quote, I think then you are a more successful side. This is for sure. And the clean sheets have been a lot in the beginning of the season. Now, not so much anymore. And yeah, we had some problems. We had some injuries. Some players were coming out of injuries, not immediately on the same level, what is normal. And then this caused you some issues and some problems. And finally, a few more goals what you concede. I mean, I don't have to speak about a 9-0 against Man United when you know the history of this game. So, but there were some other games around where we made it too easy for the opponent to score against us.
Ralph, thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Ben Fisher.
Hi, Ralph. Just to clarify on what you said there in terms of motivational videos, did you mean when you were in Austria, or you've been doing that this week with your players?
No, we have done it here in this club for a long time, and some moments we do it. Must be a special moment, or when you have the feeling the players need it, then it's sometimes helpful to have this, special part of the preparing for a game. We don't do it all the time, because when you do something always, then it's not getting you the same power.
What sort of stuff have you shown them then this week?
In this week so far, only we spoke about the opponent, how they play, what they do, how we have to react. You are never sure 100% what you expect, what shape and everything, but you have to know what you have to do when this is coming, or when this shape is coming. And then this is I think the most work you do on this during the week is preparing them for all the possibilities that may come up.
Will you show them old clips then? Is that what you mean in terms of motivational? You'll show them old sort of footage of the club or being successful or things like that, or something different?
No, it's a combination. Sometimes we used it, showing a few older pictures from the FA Cup. I think we did it last year before the Portsmouth game. I remember this year we had more of so far, only looking for our games, what we have done right last weeks and months. And it's always helpful for a player to see some good moves from him, some good goals he scores, some good tackles he takes, to get motivated.
And just if I can, in terms of sort of performances, obviously the run you've been on in this competition, how keen are you to have something to show for at the end of it, Ralph? Obviously, I suppose it's great having praise for good performances, but you'd like something to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, there's nothing about a beautiful play or football play. It's more taking the win. It's doing everything for having one goal more than the opponent, and for this, you cannot look for some beautiful moves or something like that. You need to be successful on Sunday, and successful you are when you are very committed and work very hard against the ball to not concede a goal, and I think this is the key of winning.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Tom Barkley.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
It was only a few years ago, before you came here, that Southampton were in a semi-final for the FA Cup. Obviously, they lost to Chelsea. Nathan Redmond was talking about it this week. And one of the interesting things he said about now compared to then was that before that game, he didn't really feel that there were any aspirations of wanting to succeed as much as there is now in this dressing room. There's a lot more desire to win. I'm just wondering how you've managed to instill that without passing judgment on the previous manager. How have you managed to bring in this extra hunger to succeed?
I would like have seen this more often, especially in the second half of the season, this hunger also in the league. I mean, yes, in the cup, we were very driven. You could feel it. I mean, when you eliminate the cup holders and then you have to really want to go for it. And I think it means for them something that we have a chance to achieve something big. As I often said, the chance to write history for this club, you don't get this very often. It's maybe the difference if you end up 11th in the league or 12th or 13th is not so big, but when you get to the final and maybe win something, that is something you never forget. And I think for this, we were working every day, and I think we took it very serious. As I said, we showed them that we take it serious. We want to go with the best squad all the time for coming the next round. And then when you have a good draw, then you can make it maybe to the final. And we have the chance now to do it, like Leicester has the same. And who wants it more will get it.
And it's never been boring during your time at Southampton. A lot of highs, some big lows as well. Leicester have obviously played a big part in that. It feels like, seeing as you're playing them now, quite a good time to sort of reflect on your time. Do you feel like that's just the way it was always going to be with yourself and the level that Southampton are at, that there's always going to be a bit of a roller coaster?
Yeah. I think it was a little bit hard for me in the beginning to accept that it is not so easy to take a run with this club like I've done with all my other clubs I was working for. But it is normal because we speak about the Premier League and this is the strongest league in the world. When you read the semi-final here, that can be also a Champions League half final, also semi-final if you want, with Chelsea, Man City, and Leicester had beaten Man United in the last round. So they are also in a moment in the Champions League spots. So, and we are part of this. So it is not normal for us to be there. And yes. The roller coaster for us as a club is a little bit more normal, but the good thing is that we have also terms where we definitely can show that if we are outperforming, that we can compete with the teams, and we need an outperforming game for us. Then we have a chance to do it, and we have to run more, we have to fight more, we have to work more for our wins like other teams do. But when we do this, then it's even sweeter. It tastes sweeter, I think, and then it's even more enjoyable, I think. And this is if you want, this is the bonus you have, and when you work for a club like here.
Thanks, Ralph. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Harry Pratt.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Hi, Ralph. Nathan Redmond had a tremendous game in the quarterfinals. Scored twice. Had one of his goals compared to Michael Owens in Argentina in the World Cup. Number one, you said you'd never seen that goal. Have you checked it out in the meantime?
Sure.
And two, with Nathan, I mean, he's sort of rather got overtaken by Danny Ings and Shea Adams in making the headlines. Is it, have you noticed a difference in him since he got that double against Bournemouth? And I presume a game like Wembley semi-final is a place for him to really show that he's approaching those levels we know he can get to, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was never asking for showing some extraordinary. I was always asking for doing his basics. And I think when the basics are working hard for the team, hunting for every ball, going for every ball, then you automatically come back to what you normally can play, because the quality that he has is always enough for being a very good Premier League player. But if you don't work enough for the team, and if you're not investing enough for the team, then it's for nobody possible to play on the highest level. The others are too strong, the opponents are too strong. And if you stop trying to go against them, and if you stop trying to beat them in 1-against-1, then you lose before you try it. And I think this hopefully turned around in the last games, and on the weekend, hopefully, when he gets the chance to play, he does it again.
Yeah, and have you seen that goal, Michael Owens?
Yes, I've seen it now.
You like it, yeah?
Yes, I like it.
Be good for him to get another one like that on the weekend. Okay, best of luck. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Jerry Cox.
Sorry there. Hi, Ralph. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. I gather you're not particularly superstitious, man, but are there any superstitions? Often in cup runs, managers and players tend to have a sort of something that they've done all the way through. Is there anything with you?
Sorry, no. I know that you like to have it, but I try never to be superstitious, because it's for me a kind of weakness. Because when you think that you put your left shoe on and then your right foot shoe, I think when this is the key of winning or losing, I think then you have not done everything right before the game. So I try more to concentrate on the facts and on the things I definitely want to improve. But you're right. Football is always a game of being in the right moment and having a little bit luck also sometimes. And as I said, I wasn't the most lucky manager in the cup competition so far. Maybe this year is the completely opposite.
And any of your players particularly superstitious? Do they have routines or rituals they like to do?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a player, it was a little bit different. I was also a little bit more superstitious, I must say. It ends up with wearing the right shoes and doing everything in the same way before the game. I think rituals are not bad to give you some good feelings, and this is sometimes helpful and gives you a little bit of a push. Maybe you feel good, and that's the reason why it's normal, I think, that football players do this.
And just finally, that 6:30 on a Sunday evening. A lot of I know some fans don't like the late kickoffs. Is that something that you just have to accept now in this day of television? Television and dictating when kickoff times are.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we take any time we want. We should play. We have to be ready, and I think to be honest, I like this time more than 12 o'clock high noon. So this is for me a very horrible time to play football at 12 o'clock in the morning. So the 6:30 date, I think it's a very good time to go to Wembley and have a good game there.